Hello everyone. In this video, we'll talk about the chemical characteristics of water like total solids and pH. For more such videos and solved examples, you can sign up on our website. The link is given in the description. So initially we talked about the physical characteristics of water. In that we talked about the turbidity, temperature, color, taste and odor. Similarly, we have to check for some chemical parameters also. So the parameters like total solids, pH of water, alkalinity, hardness of water, these come under the chemical characteristics. So we'll see one by one. Let's first talk about the total solids. So total solids represent the solids that are present in water. So these solids can be in the form of some soil. I mean, the soil can be sand or clay that is coming from the water body. Then some minerals can be present like calcium, magnesium. So these will make up the total solids. Now in terms of solids, we can further classify these total solids as total suspended solids and total dissolved solids. So it is clear from the name itself, the solids, if we have a sample of water, and in this sample the solids that are in suspension are the suspended solids and some will be dissolved in water, so those are the dissolved solids. Now for the calculation of these solids, we can perform some basic experiment. So if we take a water sample and filter it using a filter paper, so there will be some solids remaining on this filter paper, and if we weigh this filter paper, so from that we can find out the total suspended solids. And if we want to find out the total solids, so again we can take this sample and we can oven dry this sample. So there will be some solids remaining in this sample, and if we weigh the solids, that will give us the total solids. And using these two readings of suspended solids and total solids, we can find out the total dissolved solids. So total dissolved solids will be total solids minus total suspended solids. The removal of these solids can be achieved by sedimentation and basic filtration methods. So from the health point of view, the IS 10500 has given the limit of these solids. So these are limited to 500 milligrams per liter. It should not exceed this value in normal circumstances. But if no other water body is present for drinking water, then this limit is 2000 milligrams per liter, and it should never exceed this value. I mean, if the value is above 2000 milligrams per liter, then it's a cause for the rejection of the water. Next, let's talk about the pH of water. So if we talk about how pH is defined, so basically pH indicates the log of reciprocal of hydrogen ion concentration, and it tells that how acidic or how basic the water is. So pH is given as log of reciprocal, this is log base 10 of hydrogen ion concentration. This concentration here, the unit is important. The unit is given in moles per liter. You should keep in mind that when we calculate the pH, this concentration of hydrogen ion, here the unit is taken in moles per liter. So as such, as I told earlier also, if we talk about water or H2O, then it does not ionize, but a small quantity of this water ionizes, that is, it breaks down to H plus ions and OH minus ions, that is hydrogen and hydroxyl ions. So it is seen that if we talk about pure water, that is, there is no other salt or any kind of impurity present in water, and in that case the concentration of hydrogen ion is seen as 10 to the power minus 7 moles per liter, and similarly the concentration of hydroxyl ion is also seen as 10 to the power minus 7 moles per liter. And if we talk about the product of ionization, so product of ionization is calculated as concentration of cations times concentration of anions divided by concentration of undissociated molecules. Now because in case of water this dissociation is very small, so this value we can assume to be 100%, that almost all the water or all the molecules are undissociated. So we can treat it as 1 or 100%, and based on that this value is the product of ionization, and this value is a constant, so we can write it as, because this value we are considering as 1, so H plus times OH minus is equal to a constant, and that constant is, here we'll put 10 to the power minus 7, and this is also 10 to the power minus 7, so it becomes 10 to the power minus 14. So this value, the concentrations, the product of concentration for hydrogen and hydroxyl ion is a constant, and that is 10 to the power minus 14. Now if we add some acid in this water, then what will happen? Then the concentration of hydrogen ions will increase. Now let's say after the addition of acid, the concentration of hydrogen ion becomes 10 to the power minus 5 moles per liter. Then what will be the pH of water? pH will be log of reciprocal of hydrogen ion concentration. So solving it, we find out that pH of water is 5. Then similarly we can calculate POH also, potential for hydroxyl ions. So that will be, so if the concentration of hydrogen ion is 10 to the power minus 5 moles per liter, and this product of concentration is constant, so using this equation we can find out that OH minus concentration, hydroxyl ion concentration, will be 10 to the power minus 9. And if we calculate in a similar way POH, so it will be log 10 1 upon 10 to the power minus 9. So from here we get POH to be 9. And so from here we can see that pH plus POH is also a constant, and that constant is 14. Now if we talk about the limit of pH as per IS code for drinking water, so as per IS 10500, the permissible limit for pH is between 6.5 to 8.5. If the value is less than 6.5, then it will be highly acidic, and if the value is above 8.5, then it will be highly basic. That is, for neutral water, if the water is neutral, then the pH value is 7, and if it is less than 7, then the water is acidic. If the value is greater than 7, then the water is called as basic. Basicity indicates the pH greater than 7, and if we talk about alkalinity, then there is a slight difference. Alkalinity tells us the buffering capacity of the solution. That is, if we add acid in the water, if we add hydrogen ion, then how much this water can resist the change in pH, that will be indicated by the alkalinity, whereas basicity is just indicating the pH value. If the value is greater than 7, then it's the basic solution, whereas alkalinity talks about the buffering capacity to resist the change in pH. So in the next video we'll talk about the alkalinity of water. I hope you found this video useful. Please like, subscribe and share this video with your friends.